What's up? How are you guys? I hope you're all very, very well. I am thrilled to say that I am a lot more down to earth energetically than I was in my last video. For those of you who saw my Discern Through the Darkness video, I was all fire. I do not apologize. I will not apologize for being all fire in that video. However, I've made 2 acknowledgements. One of them being I need to stop cursing like a sailor because it is not a good look. And 2 is that it was a big lesson for me. It was a test. In terms of this last hit that came in last week, as far as the energetic waves that have been coming in, I learned that I am not as secure in maintaining or honing that fire within me. I need to really work on keeping my field here instead of lashing out and allowing that fire to run me, if that makes sense. So I absolutely stand behind everything I said in that video. But again, it's a nice little pop quiz for me to go through to reflect on the rage that I had within me with this energy that's coming in last week. So I hope you guys are all good. I hope you guys are doing your work, doing what you got to do. Tonight I wanted to talk more about the Ascension symptoms that are going on for everyone right now. I'm going to share more about what's going on with me and list a whole bunch of physical manifestations or physical side effects of the energy coming into the planet and what it's doing to us as humans living on Gaia, as well as what it's creating energetically between relationships in your life. So let's get started. Okay. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? When I first woke up, everything in my 3D life became all of a sudden insignificant. Okay? So the things that I used to care about and love and do and participate in and spend so much of my time and energy on completely did a 180. I stopped caring about having the hottest new outfit and having the hottest new lip gloss and having the hottest new whatever 3D nonsense bullshit. You know what I mean? I all of a sudden didn't feel the need anymore to watch my reality shows or be around people in my life that sit and talk politics, or even my own father comes home from work every night and he sits in front of the TV and he watches Fox News, miserable at the state of what's happening, at the state of society and whatnot. I started to pull away from people in my life who were stuck in this game. And I didn't know it at the time. I just automatically sort of drifted. I kind of cocooned into my own little shell and I did my own thing. I researched intel all day long about 2012 and what this is, and I didn't know anything about extraterrestrials. I didn't even consider extraterrestrials until last year. But I would sit and research intel, ghosts, the afterlife, the human body, and the fact that we're moving from carbon-based DNA and RNA to crystalline-based throughout this ascension process. As these octaves come in, our physical vessels are changing. And those symptoms I'll go into in a little bit. But So I would just research and gather as much information as I possibly could about anything spiritual, anything esoteric, anything that was outside of my realm of reality. So that's the first thing I want to talk about in terms of this, symptoms for you guys. When you first wake up, you're going to find yourself withdrawing from 3D things, you know, old hobbies, old friends that no longer really seem to have anything significant to add to your life. Same thing with family members. I've gone through both. So, and that's not to say that's a bad thing. Excuse me, to sort of break away from certain people in your life, because everyone in our lives comes in for a very specific reason. We contract each other. Everyone in our lives, every experience we have in our lives, we've contracted before we came down here in the first place, before we reincarnated. So try to remember that, by the way, when all the drama comes around. But okay, let me see something here. So yeah, when I first woke up, I started to withdraw, and I just allowed it to happen. You know, I kind of isolated myself. I was living on the bay at the time. That was when I first started making videos. And I started working with crystals and tarot. And, you know, if you find yourself withdrawing from people, places, and things, it's not a bad thing. Allow it to happen. Allow yourself to gradually step into a different understanding, a different focus in your life, and just go with it, you know. Another symptom I really want to talk about is dreams. A lot of you guys are having really, really intense dreams. You're having friends show up in your dreams, family members show up in your dreams. Some of you are having nightmares, I'm sure. A lot of us are dealing with old karmic stuff in dream time right now, because everything is being accelerated and we got to get the stuff processed so we can cross. So in terms of dream time, my best advice for you guys is document your dreams. Have a dream journal. You know, go find a real pretty special little journal that makes you feel good, and keep it next to your bed. And as soon as you guys wake up, write down as much as you can possibly remember. Colors, feelings, people. Where were you? Was it hot? Was it cold? Did you feel good? Did you hate the way you felt in your dream? A lot of the family members that we have in this 3D incarnation, we've known in past lives, and it's karmically being played out the way it is for a very specific reason. So for instance, if you are currently all of a sudden having crazy drama with certain people in your lives, whether it's a significant other, a family member, you know, a sister or a brother or whoever, know that that's happening for a reason, and that most likely karma is being cleared. If it's not karma being cleared between the two of you, one of you is needing to clear your own stuff. And so, you know, you contracted this person or this thing to allow you to learn these lessons. So understand that. Understand that this is all just a video game. When you're in 3D awake, you're just as much awake when you're asleep in dream time. So know that your dreams are real. Know that, you know, just because your 3D vessel is sleeping in your bed does not mean that your energy body is not up there, because it is. And I can promise you guys that. So be aware of your dreams, document your dreams. Also, when you wake up from certain dreams, most dreams, any dreams you guys can remember, try to call on your higher selves, try to call on your guides and ask them, what was this lesson? Okay, what did I need to learn from this? You know, I had that nightmare about Krista last week, and I've been processing what was the lesson there. You know what I mean? The lesson for me was in trust, and also being able to fight off this darkness that's coming in. So, you know, be aware that there are lessons. Be aware that there's a lot of karmic clearing going on, and just be conscious of the things that's going on in dream time right now. What else do I want to talk about as far as symptoms? I was going to make this video about a million different things. The first idea was I wanted to talk about DNA and how our DNA and RNA are being rewritten right now. as we move to crystalline-based beings. But I decided to talk more about Ascension Symptoms. So let's see what else I have here. I think communication right now is really important. The way that you guys are communicating as these light octaves are coming into our galaxy, especially with today's alignment, 11/11. We're all being purged of our old programming, old ways of thinking, old ways of being, old ways of seeing the world and living in the world. And everybody's shit is coming to the surface. Anything that you haven't dealt with, any fear that you have in you is being triggered right now by the people around you, by things that'll happen to you. You know, a lot of people are going through just one big clusterfuck right now, and that includes me and my friends here in Sedona, because as more and more light comes in, you guys, the dark has nowhere else to go. It can't hold the field here anymore unless it integrates with the new frequencies. It can't stay here, so it's coming to the surface as it leaves, and as it comes to the surface, we're all losing our shit. You know, the night I made that video, my discernment video from earlier this week, that was the biggest hit I've gotten since last year when they turned my eyes on. And even when I made the video, I didn't realize that it was going to be for the next 3 days. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I was just smacked, and all my shit came to the surface, and I was triggered by people, and I was triggered by old ways of being and thinking, and you know, we're all being tested right now. So be aware of that. Be aware of your ego. Keep your ego in check. Anytime you want to lash out at someone, I mean, I wanted to bash somebody's face in when I made that video. That was the mentality space I was in, I should say. That was sort of emotional body stuff. And it was a big lesson for me. So try to take your vulnerable moments in your ego or any other aspect of you that you're being tested by. Take those moments as lessons. Be grateful for them. You know, because we're here to learn. We signed up for this. We've contracted ourselves to come down here and grow on a soul level. And this is the hardest, you know, this is the school of hard knocks. This is the most dense it gets in terms of existence. 3D. Okay, we're vibrating so slowly down here that things turn into matter. Okay, they turn into form because the light and sound is vibrating so slowly that this becomes a pen now. But up there, where the frequency and the vibration is raised, you've got light and sound only. And in that frequency, manifestation happens like this. So that's why down here we're being trained right now to maintain our field, to maintain our thoughts. You know, my lash out in that video earlier this week was such a lesson in terms of I got to be able to master that fire inside me. I need to be able to hold that much light and not spew it all over the place like I did in the video. You know what I mean? And I don't regret that at all. Because that's me, and I'll be me. I'll always keep it real. I'll always spit it like it is. But it was a lesson in terms of being able to have control over my energy field, over my frequency, and over my the Scorpio rising in me, you know, the sting in me. So I'm grateful for that. You know, it's really important as we continue to transform, which again, this 11/11 date, you know, this represents transformation. We are transforming into the next reality, into the next cycle. You know, in terms of 2012, I have some friends back home who are waking up now, which is so amazing. And they message me, they see me on Facebook, people I haven't spoken to in years and years, and they'll message me and ask me, you know, little questions like, well, do you think the world's gonna end on 2012? Like, what do you really think? Even though in their mind they're like, this bitch is crazy. What the hell happened to Ashley? They'll message me and be like, I kind of really, something inside of me is changing, and I kind of, can you help me understand what it is? As you continue to hold more light and have more understanding of the world around you, you know, that's why I'm here. I'm here to experience this moment, experience this transformation, this shift in consciousness, this shift in understanding. I am a God. I am a God. We are gods. We are co-creators. And as more light comes in every second, our manifestation is happening faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So this is why we're all getting spewed of all the old shit, all the old drama. You know what I mean? A lot of egos getting tested. I know my ego got tested after I made that video the other day. I had a certain person from our online network here on Facebook who attacked me, and I allowed myself to lower my vibration to this person's level, I should say. Not that I'm better or worse or either or, you know what I mean? But I allowed myself to engage this person from an ego perspective and lash back at them. And I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that because, you know, it taught me that I am not as strong at maintaining my center as I thought I was. And I'm grateful if you're watching. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. I salute the light in you. And I really wish you nothing but love and blessings throughout the rest of this shift. So, you know, thanks. I see so many people who are still asleep, quote unquote, meaning people who are asleep, right? Because I've had messages saying, what does it mean to be awake? Like, what does that mean? Like, you always say awake and asleep. What does asleep mean? Asleep meaning the majority of mass consciousness of this population on this planet right now, meaning most people on this planet, they wake up in the morning, they take their shower, they drink their coffee, they sit in hours and hours of commuter traffic to go to their 9-to-5 job, only to come home, have dinner, go to sleep, and repeat every single day. Maybe get some news in there. Maybe get some Fox News in there, some programming in there from Big Brother. That's asleep. Asleep meaning you're only functioning as a mouse in a wheel here in this video game. You're following the show, you're going with the program, and you're not straying from that. You're not thinking about the fact that we are run by corporations who want nothing more than to wipe out majority of this planet because they no longer have use for us. You know, take time to think about the fact that we haven't even discovered half of our own galaxy, and we don't know how many galaxies are out there. So you mean to tell me there's not an alien, an ET race out there of humanoids living on a 3D planet like Earth? You mean to tell me that doesn't exist? Because that's ridiculous to me. You know, think about the fact that we're energy. Everything around you is made up of energy. And there is no such thing as death. Or think about the fact that 3D is a video game. We're here to experience and graduate and go back upstairs so we can get back to source and who we truly are as divine beings. You know, people don't stop to think about these things. So that's asleep. As we continue to come to this omega point, as far as the cycle that this planet's going through. She's coming to another ending point of a cycle, a grand cycle, 26,000 plus years. Everything is being accelerated. So for those of you who are waking up now, God bless you, because you have a lot that you're going to be taking on in a very short period of time. And it's only speeding up. So be aware of that. Be aware that everything is heightened right now. Your emotions, your fear, your happiness, your sadness, your ego is wanting to smash on someone most of the time lately, I'm sure. So just try to keep to yourself, try to maintain your field and not sort of lash out or create any kind of unnecessary drama between you and your friends or you and your family or you and yourself, you know. Learn how to sit back and observe your emotions for what they are. Feel them, process them, and release them. Try to maintain your field as you're purging, as you guys are processing these old feelings, these old emotions, these old ways of being and thinking and doing and acting. You're going to be triggered, you know.